I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be your success or failure is your responsibility. Well, I got 3 emails that I'm going to go through with you today. Before we get into the first one, though, I got a quote that I wrote that I want to share with you. And then, like the very last email that I'm going to go through today, guy basically says he's been following my advice and it's not working, and basically it's all my fault and it's my job to fix him, but obviously he has no personal responsibility. But before we get to that, I'm going to go ahead and read this quote, and then we're going to jump right into the first guy's email. And the quote says, "Your success or failure in life is your responsibility and your responsibility alone. Anytime we try to blame others or the circumstances of our lives for our lack of success or our lack of what we want, we are simply refusing to take any personal responsibility for our own lives. When we blame others for our failure or lack of success, we give our power away and put ourselves in a mindset that we are powerless to do anything to help ourselves. Therefore, we don't take action to move our lives forward, nothing changes, and we become stuck in a vicious cycle of wanting, not having what we want, and consistently being disappointed. Having goals, desires, and dreams without taking action is meaningless. You must participate in your own rescue. If you don't, it is impossible to reach your full potential." So let's go ahead and jump into the first guy's email. He says, "Hey coach, I've read your book once, 10 to 15 times. If you want to become good at this, if you want to master this, you got to read it 10 to 15 times. Not half of a time, not halfway through or 3/4 of the way through or only one time, 10 to 15 times. And for those of you that don't have my book, if you want the Kindle edition or you want a paperback edition, on my website underneath the email sign-up box, there's an image of my book you can click and it'll take you right to Amazon's website and you can order whichever copy you want." He says, "I read your book once and I started reading it a second time and will continue until I get to the 15th time." Good. He says, "I've watched a bunch of your videos but need help with a situation. Last month my girlfriend decided to call it quits after 9 months of dating each other. In the beginning we had an unbelievable chemistry and connected instantly." It's beautiful when it starts out like that. That's how you can have an effortless relationship. Is you keep looking, you keep searching until you meet somebody where not only the physical attraction is there, but the chemistry is there, where you have a lot of the same goals, similar values. It's just easy to be with someone like that. Too many people, if you've watched me for a while, they get focused on the fact that they like a certain person. Men and women are both guilty of this. And then if the other person doesn't reciprocate, they continue hanging around trying to change their mind. You like I've said this a couple of times, you want somebody that's not sitting on the fence about you. You literally want somebody that would jump fences to be with you. Until you find that, you got to keep looking. Yeah, you can hang out, have fun, and hook up along the way and get laid along the way if that's what you're looking for. But at the end of the day, don't fucking settle. Most of the people in this world, that's what they do. They're living mediocre lives. They're in relationships with people they don't really care about. They don't really have the kind of friendships that they want. Their businesses aren't what they really want, or their careers aren't what they really want. And therefore, since most of the areas of their lives are mediocre at best, they're not happy. And when you're not happy and you don't love yourself, you're not going to take care of your body. You're not going to eat right. You're not going to exercise. And therefore, you're going to feel even worse physically. And then you're going to cause all kinds of other problems because your health is out of whack. And when you're constantly getting sick, it's going to affect every area of your life. He says, "She's 2 years older than me and already finished her degree, and I was working hard on mine to become an officer. We kept that going for a long time, and I had originally lied to her about how much school I had done and some of my interests because I didn't know if she fell for me because of my photo that I posted on the online dating website where I met her at in my Marine uniform or me." Thank you for your service, brother, by the way. He said, but one thing I would say, as a Marine, it's like, what would your drill sergeant say about you fucking lying on your profile or lying to this girl you were dating? He wouldn't like it. And you know better, dude. You should never do something like that. Anytime you feel like you've got to embellish your story, you're in the mindset of, I got to prove myself. I'm not worthy. I'm not good enough for this girl, so let me make a bunch of shit up, and then she'll fall in love with that image, and then I can later tell her that, hey, it was all bullshit. Never fucking do that, dude. That's the worst way to start off a relationship, is with a lie. And you're fucking better than that. It's not what they teach in the Marine Corps, bro. He says, she dated a lot of military guys back to back before me that I later learned, so I wasn't completely sure. When I was completely sure she wasn't in it to screw me over. Now look at that. Your belief, you presuppose, oh, this chick's out after me just to screw me over. Think about that. You get what you focus on in life. And if you're presupposing that women are out to screw you, you're going to do and say things that cause what you fear to actually happen. He says, in December, I admitted it to her about the lies. She felt hurt, but was glad that I admitted it. Then I made the mistake and told her that if she wanted to move on, she could, and I wouldn't have any regrets. Come on, man. Think about that. I'm not worthy. You're probably not going to want me anyways, and here's the lie that I told you, so this is the real me, and you're probably not going to love me. I mean, think about that for a second. Think about what those beliefs presuppose about yourself. You're saying, please find a reason to dump me and not stay with me. Are you sure you haven't found a reason why you don't want to dump me? Let me give you a few more, and then you'll really want to get rid of me. Come on, man. You're shooting yourself in the foot. He says, she said that she loved me and didn't want to leave me. I started seeing her slowly drift away. Women test your strength, and you express a tremendous amount of weakness. You're not worthy, and what do women do? They become unsure of themselves. They start to shut down you, because if you're lying to her about those little things, what else are you lying to her about? It doesn't make her feel safe and comfortable. So of course she's naturally going to back away. At the end of the day, if you're admitting this, you've got to let her go. Women are like cats. They'll come back, but when women start to pull away, especially in this kind of a situation, and then if you start to chase, you literally would drive them away, because now you're further reinforcing your weakness, which is going to turn her off and lose even more attraction and respect for you. And when a woman loses all respect, there's no way she could love you. He says, I kept doing everything I originally did before December, except the fact that you had a shitty belief system that presupposed that she's not going to like you. And it's still affecting your judgment, it's affecting the things you're doing, and it's affecting the things you're saying, even though you might not have said that. Even though you think that you were doing everything right, now that the lie was out there, it's exposed, now you're worried about that. You can't help but have that affect your actions. That's why honesty is always the best policy. You got to have the mindset of, she doesn't like me for me, I don't give a fuck. You want somebody that would love you for you. And that's why you got to be yourself from the beginning. You don't present this false image of who you are and then later say, oh, well, that was all a bunch of bullshit, just to get in your pants. He says, I supported her at her marathons and on the weekends. I would take her out for drinks, dinner, etc. Then came my birthday in February, and when we were at the airport getting ready to go to Vegas, she brought up the lies, and she seemed really depressed about it. I talked to her and explained what seemed like was fixed in December really wasn't. And here's where a lot of guys fail. So she's bringing up something. In other words, you were doing or saying something that was in essence hurting her in the same way that you did when you lied to her. And that's why she brings up the story. And you're doing what most guys mistakenly do, is that, oh, I'm going to use logic and reason. It's like, I thought we resolved that back in December. Why is she bringing it up again? There was something you were doing or saying that was exhibiting and displaying weakness, and therefore she was basically saying, you've basically hurt me in the same way that you did a few months ago when you revealed all these lies. And I don't know what it was because you didn't say, but that's why a woman brings up the same thing over and over and over again. And you're thinking, hey, we resolved that months ago. What the fuck? So obviously in this particular moment, you just, instead of doing the right thing, you dug yourself an even deeper hole. He says, then we went back, and the next weekend everything was great. She sent me a card in the mail saying everything was good and that she was so happy. Again, that tells me that you were focused and probably saying and doing things that was continuing to say, I'm not worthy, and I know it's just a matter of time before you get rid of me, but hey, thanks for keeping me around this long. Eventually, a woman's going to agree with that statement that, you know what, you don't deserve me, and I want somebody better. And as the more she backed away, probably the more you exhibited this weak behavior, until eventually she was convinced that you just didn't feel worthy. And therefore, she wants a guy that feels like an equal, like he deserves to be there. And you are not acting like that. You're a fucking Marine, dude. Head back, chest out. Come on, man. Semper Fi. He says, the next 3 weekends, she seemed to be distant and disconnected when we got together. I finally called her one night during the week and asked her if she was even happy anymore being with me. He says, another mistake. See, you knew that was a mistake. James Bond would never do something like that. Of course she loves being with me. I'm a fucking Marine. Why not? Come on, man. Before anybody else will believe it, you have to believe it yourself. You got to believe that you're a catch, that you're awesome. And you're constantly, consistently communicating that you're a steaming pile of dog dung in essence. He says, another mistake, and she couldn't answer then, but told me she was happy when she was with me, but when I wasn't, she wasn't happy. I don't know what that meant, so later that week when she came over, she brought my stuff over. So you gave her even more reason to constantly re-anchor back to the fact that you lied and, obviously other things that you were doing wrong. It's like you're literally talking her out of liking you. She brought over my stuff and brought a sheet that gave me 8 reasons why we couldn't be together anymore. The first one was resentment for what I admitted in December, in other words, the lies. And some others were chemistry and connection. I tried to talk her out of it, but I soon realized her mind was made up and comforted her as she cried, and I talked to her. I gave her the, if you want to come back, the door is open speech that you've talked about in your videos, but she told me earlier in our relationship she doesn't go back with exes. Usually. The ones that aren't coached by yours truly. He says, I haven't contacted her since, and she deleted me off Facebook before we broke up, but I can't seem to shake her off my mind. I refocused on my goals and my priorities with work, school, and working out, but whatever I do, I still can't shake her off. You got to keep moving forward, dude. That's all you can do. You got to grind it out. You got to find a way to get through the day and to do the things. You got to always ask yourself, what must I get done today before I go to bed each night? And give it your best. That's all you can do, is give it your absolute honest best. And say, you know what? All these things that you did in the past with her, those are mistakes. And this is a painful mistake. A breakup is a really painful way to cause you to really look inward and say, you know what? I really didn't put my best foot forward in this relationship. And the next time around, I'm never going to fucking lie. I want a girl to know exactly the way I am up front. If she don't like it, I'm going to keep searching. And that's what you need to do. He says, I'm going to see her at a half marathon I'm running this weekend, and I wanted to know what I should do if I'm approached by her about why I'm there. Well, this is what Marines do. We take good care of our bodies. Hey, babe, it's great to see you. You look fantastic. Be happy. Be playful. Be fun. Smile. Just be grateful that you had this wonderful experience with this girl. It's like, hey, it's so great to see you. We should get together later on after the marathon's over and catch up have a drink. And she goes, no, I can't. And then you just say, great, well, give me a call if you change your mind. I'd love to see you. You look fantastic, by the way, honey. And then you go about your business. You got to show up and communicate through your body language and your words that you are not diminished in any way by the fact that she's no longer with you. As a matter of fact, you seem to be even happier now than you were when you were with her. That's the guy you need to be. That's the guy that she originally fell for. And you got to get back to being that dude. You should be this way all the time. Even if you don't feel it necessarily internally, this is what you need to exhibit to the world. Because if you show up and you're like, oh, baby, I miss you. Please take me back. You're not going to get anywhere with that. He says, also, what should I do to spark that connection again? Well, like I said, I just covered that. But what you should be doing in between now and the time you have that marathon is reading the book. Get through it as many times. And then if you happen to run into her, don't go over to her. If you see her, wave to her. If she wants to talk to you, let her come on over. Or you can wave her on over. And if she goes, no, you come over and and then you just turn your back and go about your business. If she wants to talk to you, she'll come over and talk to you. And the best thing you can do is to show you're not diminished in any way. You're very happy. You know what? You seem even happier than when you were together with her. And don't ever act like a little bitch again around this woman, because you're a fucking Marine, dude. It's like, come on, man. So let's move on to the second guy's email. He says, hey, coach. And this guy's got a lot of questions on health, and I haven't done any questions on health in a while. He says, I'm 22 from England. I'm unemployed. I'm 6'9", and I had leukemia when I was 17, so I had 3 years worth of chemotherapy, and it's cured now. Well, good for you. He says, I want to get my health right, but I have another cold right now. Well, when you get a cold or you get sick, that is actually your body's natural detox mechanism. Whether you're barfing it out or you're shitting it out, you have diarrhea, you got the cold sweats, That's how your body rebalances itself, is a cold. And so what tends to happen, especially like in the wintertime, because we're not eating as healthy, we tend to eat a more acidic diet, and then obviously the weather is colder, especially around the holidays. You're stressed about holidays, and then you got extra bacteria that comes along, and your immune system can't handle it. I mean, most people's immune system, 70%, 80% of their immune system is focused on just trying to keep the bacteria that's in their colon at bay. That's why I did an article several years ago called "Death Begins in the Colon." He says, and what he says, I got the cold from my dad, and I feel like crap. Well, he may have had the cold. What happened was he introduced a bug to your system, and your system was already kind of like at the tipping point. And the bug was just one. It was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Your body just couldn't handle it, and therefore you got a cold. I don't get colds. I haven't had a cold in years. If your diet is alkaline, and you have to read Dr. Young's book, The pH Miracle, if you want to understand what foods are alkaline and what foods are acidic, and if you balance your diet out properly, you will not get sick again. He says, I tried Dr. Young's Young Forever 220 grams of Doc Brock's Power Plants as recommended until it ran out, and then I switched to Paradise Herbs, Energy, Protein Grasses, and he gives a link to it, but I'm not going to go look at it. He says, I researched it and thought it might be even healthier for me. Was that a mistake? It was like, why are you deviating from... It's like, this particular person that makes this drink, are they curing people of AIDS, of cancer, of diabetes? I would say probably not. Dr. Young's work in the past year and a half has been confirmed by Johns Hopkins University. Hello. I mean, I had so many symptoms. I've talked about this. I used to be constipated all the time. I used to be 30-something pounds overweight. I used to get colds 3 or 4 times, the flu 3 or 4 times a year, and all throughout the year, I'd get colds like every other month. I had hay fever all the time. I had allergies. I'd get around animals. I'd start sneezing. My nose would start running. My eyes would get all red and puffy. I don't have that problem anymore. He says, I also have Udo's oil with the green drink, so that's good. I get plenty of exercise. I do weights, and I do dog walks every day. He says, I looked up network chiropractors, and they seem expensive, and I'm not sure if it's needed. What do you think? I wouldn't say it's needed, but you know what? It's just one more thing. It's like working out. The more healthy things that you do, the healthier you're going to be. If your spine is not aligned, if your spinal cord is full of muscle tension, then that's going to pinch the nerves. And if your brain can't talk to that area of the body, it can't regulate blood flow, it can't send oxygen there. I know it's expensive, but if you can do it, if you can afford it, it will completely change your life. It will make you healthier. You will get sick less often. What's interesting is, like in the States, people spend... and this is healthy people. When you compare people that are under network chiropractic care versus people that are who consider themselves healthy, I mean they don't smoke, they don't drink, they exercise, they do all those things. People that are under network chiropractic care spend 85% less on medication than people who are considered healthy. And the average healthy person, you know what they spend in a lifetime on medications? This will blow your mind. $350,000. This is healthy people. Over the course of their life, on average, spend about $350,000. Half of all emergency room visits are from adverse reactions to the drugs, the prescribed medication that they're on. What does that fucking tell you? He says, my tap water has a pH of 7.1. I was thinking of using Dr. Robert O. Young's pH drops. Those are great. If you can't afford a wire ionizer, those are better than nothing. He says, there's no way I can, listen to what he says, there's no way I can install your water machine thing. Well, it's not mine. It's made by Chanson. And he's talking about the water ionizer. There's no way I can install your water machine thingy in the kitchen without my dad getting mad. It's way too expensive anyhow. Yeah, you install something in your kitchen, it's going to help your whole family be healthier and better. But he's going to be pissed. Well, then put it in the bathroom. It doesn't have to be in the kitchen. I've got mine in one of my bathrooms instead of the kitchen. Alkaline water is fantastic. If you can afford it, I mean, just the cheaper ones are like around $1,000. I would highly recommend it. Get a second job. Get a part-time job. Save up the money and fucking buy one, dude. You only got one body. If you wear it out, you're going to have a really rough journey. He says, diet-wise, is not too good, and it's what I need help with the most. It needs sorting out. He says, for breakfast I have sausage rolls. That's all acid. Apple. It's fruit. Apples have a lot of sugar in them. Banana. And sometimes grapes too. So pretty much your whole breakfast is all acidic. Remember, it's 80-20. 80 parts alkalinity, 20 parts acid. For lunch, I usually have mackerel on toast. That's all acid. And I sometimes have soup. More than likely, the soup's all acid. He says for snacks, there's this website that sends you healthy snacks like olives, nuts, dried fruit. I also have crisps, cheese, and yogurt. Well, that's pretty much all acid as well. Where are the greens, dude? He says I have weight gain or protein drink. That's going to be acid forming. So pretty much almost 100% of what you're eating is acid forming foods. And 80% of what you are eating should be raw alkaline vegetables. Spinach, cucumber, collard greens, wheatgrass juice. I mean, I've done a video on juicing, and I've also done one on the world's best salad. That's a great, have one of those. The thing is, if you're eating a very acidic diet and then you start eating alkaline, you want to wean yourself into it. You don't want to just go from eating 100% acid to 80-90% alkaline, because you're going to get sick. It's going to make you feel a little queasy, because what happens is you're going to detox really fast. And so if you get on the alkaline diet and you ever get to the point where you're feeling kind of a little sick, well, the best thing to do is to take Dr. Young's the 4 salts, which are the high-grade baking sodas. Anytime you get an upset stomach, and if you can't afford those, you just get regular Arm & Hammer baking soda. 1 teaspoon dissolved in 16 ounces of water, and drink that. That'll help you feel better. That'll help you balance things out. Because obviously I know not everybody's got the money to afford all these things, but the more of them that you can do, the better you're going to feel. But you got to learn the fundamentals, and that's why I recommend reading Dr. Young's book, The pH Miracle. He also wrote another book which is brilliant because it has pictures of living blood, and you can see the difference between healthy blood and blood that's fucked up. And I can tell from your diet, if I did live blood analysis just with dark field microscopy is what it's called, your blood would be a fucking mess. I could tell just from what you're eating. When I worked at did Crude Life Mastery for Tony Robbins, I saw people's blood that were literally, there was about 100 people in that Life Mastery, and I saw a lot of their blood, and it's a fucking mess. Most people eat horrible, and that's why you get sick all the time. If your blood is messed up, your body's not going to be able to build healthy cells. He says, I tried raw carrot. Now, a lot of people that become vegetarians, they juice tons and tons of carrots. Well, carrots are loaded with sugar. And so when you juice, like you take like 10 carrots and you juice them and then you drink it, it's like, oh man, it's like pure sugar. It's like, of course it's going to just give you a stomach ache. He says, after 2 days, it gave you big stomach pains. Duh. He says, I tried raw cucumber too, and I had small stomach pains, but luckily I didn't eat too much. Let's just start adding more alkaline vegetables to your diet, because you're eating pretty much 100% acidic. You got to slowly back that down. Start out with 5% for 1 week, then 10%, then 20%, then 30%, eventually until you work up to 80, 90%. It's going to take time over the course of a month or two, because as you start to eat more alkaline, your body starts to detox. And if you go from 100% acidic to 80, 90% alkaline, your body's going to detox really fast, and you're definitely going to get sick. It's going to make you throw up. You're not going to be feeling good. You're going to get headaches. And Dr. Young teaches this in his book. He gives you a step-by-step process how to gradually work into the alkaline diet. Because it's what's called a healing crisis when you go from 100% acidic to 80, 90% alkaline. And so he talks about salads here. He says that, a lot of less, I guess it's washed with chlorine or whatever. If you can eat organic, like I do smoothies, and I'm going to do a video in the next few months on a smoothie that I make with my Vitamix blender. And it's spinach, it's got avocado, and it's got celery, it's got cucumber, it's got green peppers, it's got hemp seed, which is one of the best forms of protein. And since it's vegetable based, it's very easy for your body to absorb the protein in it. I put alkaline water in it. I'll put some nuts. I'll put some raw almonds or some walnuts or maybe some sunflower seeds or macadamia nuts. I mix it up a little. I'll put some goji berries in there. I'll put dates in there. I'll put an apple in there. I'll put a banana in there. And I make a full container of it. I literally can have 3 of these throughout the day. And I feel amazing after having these smoothies. But like I said, Yeah, I'm going to give it another month or two, and I'll do a video on it, and I'll show you guys how to actually make that. But I've already done how to make Corey's green juice. If you Google Corey Wayne, how to make Corey's green juice, continue eating this way, and then start juicing vegetables. So when you have your breakfast and you eat your 100% acidic diet, have a green juice smoothie with it. In other words, the green vegetable juice that I do in the video Corey's green juice. And also the world's best salad. If you Google Corey Wayne, the world's best salad, watch that video and just have one of those per day. Do that for 30 days. One meal a day, have Corey's, the world's best salad. And you'll feel a lot better, but you got to slowly work into this. And so he says, one more thing on Skype dates with a girl from another country. Do you need to tell her you want to get together with her in person if that's what you really want? Why would you want to talk to a girl that's in another country and you're never seeing each other? It's a virtual relationship. You're wasting your time. So when you're talking to you, say, hey, when are you free? When are you going to come see me? You got to get together physically in person. Otherwise, you're just friends. If you want to waste your time chit-chatting with a girl on Skype that you never see, well, hey, it's your choice, man. But you got to participate in your own rescue. This is one of the ways that people make excuses about why nothing gets better in their personal life. You're involved with a girl that's in another country and you're not even making plans to get together. It's like, what's the point? Why waste your time? Plus, you're like, oh, well, my dad's not going to like the alkaline, the water ionizer in the kitchen. It's because of all these things that I can't do this, Corey. You got to take personal responsibility for your own life. You got to participate in your own rescue. And so let's get into the last guy's email. This guy's in a shitty mood. And he wrote a nasty email. He says, hey, Coach, I've been following your YouTube videos for a while now. I've been dating a girl for over a year, and she doesn't want to get into a relationship with me. Well, right then and there, that tells me what you're focused on, and that's a big part of your problem. You're focused on locking her down to a commitment. And if you've been dating a girl for over a year, and she hasn't asked you to be your boyfriend, you're obviously doing something wrong when you're dating her. He says, we have fun and we have sex, but she doesn't want to be my girlfriend. Again, 2 sentences in and already twice, you're complaining about the fact that she doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. That tells me that you're focused on trying to lock her down to a commitment. You've probably been doing that the whole year you've been dating, year and a half, whatever it happens to be. That's a big part of your problem. Hang out, have fun, hook up. How many times have you read my book? Have you read it 10 to 15 times? I seriously doubt it. Because when you read my book, you'll see where you've been going wrong. But if you're just watching videos, you're going to pick up things here and there, and you're going to misapply them because you don't know the fundamentals. It's like if you won't help yourself by reading the book, there's nothing I can do for you, man. He says, I've been following your advice and doing no contact where I only text her back when she texts me. She texts me once a week, and I wait a while before I get back to her, like you mentioned. But she's now furious with me and said that I am disappearing on her. She is now cold and distant and contacts me less than before. It seems your advice is not working. Well, I can tell just from what little you told me here, you're not following my advice, dude. You've picked up a few things here and there in a couple of videos, and you haven't learned the fundamentals because you're lazy, you're not really doing much to help yourself, and you're pointing a finger at me saying it's all your fault. Despite all the overwhelming evidence, when you look at the book reviews on Amazon, all the 5-star reviews that I get, and you look at all the comments that are left on my YouTube channel by guys that have applied the things I've taught, and they're getting great results. And so there's all this overwhelming evidence of people properly applying what I teach and getting results. And here's this one dude going, hey, Corey, it's all your fucking fault. It's like, come on, man. He says, can you please tell me what I'm doing wrong and how I can repair this relationship? Well, you don't know the fundamentals. That's obvious. You need to read the book 10 to 15 times. And he says, oh, man, your advice really screwed me over, and now you want money to fix the problem. Well, if you'll notice on my website, it says Enlighten Self-Help. If you want to talk to me personally, you got to pay me for my time. You can even read my book for free on my website. He says, damn, all you care about is money. You don't care about helping people. Yeah, that's it. I let people read my book for free on my website. Tell me one author anywhere on the internet that allows you to read his book totally for free on his website. I haven't seen anybody else that does that. So you can read all my best stuff for free and apply it and see that it works. But what's going on here, you haven't read the book, you haven't learned the fundamentals yet, you're picking up a few things here and there in some YouTube videos that you've watched, and you're focused on a relationship. You've been dating a girl for over a year and she doesn't want to be your girlfriend yet. You're obviously not courting her properly, and you haven't shared enough here because all you're really trying to do is point the finger and say it's all my fault. but just from what little you have mentioned that you're not doing it right. If you go and you actually read my book, things will become very clear to you as to where you're going wrong. It's like, I can't do it for you. You got to participate in your own rescue. You got to help yourself. And if you're not willing to read the book, like I said, you don't have to pay for it. You can read it for free on my website. When you read the book, things will pop out to you. You realize, oh, I was doing this, I was doing that, and you'll see where you've been going wrong. And once you see where you've been going wrong, you can take corrective action. So you got two choices. You can blame me and not do anything to help yourself by learning the fundamentals, or you can learn the fundamentals and determine where you're going wrong. And if you'd like to get my help after that, you can book email coaching, or you can do Skype or phone coaching. You choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.